Peony?
I don't think so.
My phone made a noise. I forgot to completely silence it. Sorry.
Wow.
Apology accepted.
This week on the Media Virus Podcast. Cops say no serial killer in New England, but 12 bodies beg to differ. Who's lying here? Diddy slips up in court. Baby oil is the real star witness. Cassie's testimony packs a greasy punch. Brits versus Yanks. Florida man says he'll beat them with their own tea bags.
Shut up and sit down.
It's the Media Virus Podcast. Now here's your infection team.
Hot damn! Do we have a show for you people this week? I am Matty Rockdeath, the Mattiest of all Rockdeath, and proof positive that anyone can have a podcast. And I got to tell you, there would be no podcast without. Let me shut this down so I can give credit where credit's due. I know, because there'd be no podcast if not for our executive producer, the Reverend Professor Michael Torres, and my beautiful wife and segment producer, Ricky Rockdeath. So technically, this is all of their fault. And we are streaming live from our own deranged little corner of the internet where the headlines are twisted, the jokes are questionable, and the hosts are definitely not qualified. This is the show where no topic is off limits, no punchline is too inappropriate, and no one leaves without learning or at least catching a little something.
Ew.
Whether you're here for the chaos, the comedy, or just because your life has taken a dark turn, welcome to the Media Virus Podcast. Let's point and laugh as the world's burning around us. The newest internet debate is now 100 Brits versus 100 Americans.
Didn't we do this already?
No, we did 100 dudes versus a gorilla.
No, didn't Brits already fight America?
No, about 250 years, 249 years ago.
Right.
That's right. And we kicked their asses then. And it's kind of maybe it's Revolution 2.0, And that was my first thought was that this needs some ground rules, right? If we're gonna have 100 Americans versus 100 Brits, and I know that the Brits are sending out this challenge like no weapons. Okay, and I'll get into that in a minute. But the first rule has to be that they are actually Brits. The Brits are notorious for getting others to fight their battles for them. So there must be they must be at least third generation, the third generation born on that toilet they call an island. That means there would be no Irish conscripts, no Scottish, and no Hessian mercenaries. You cheating limey bastards.
Ooh.
I heard someone mention soccer hooligans as something Americans should be, frightened of. But let me explain something that until you've walked in on a homeless man washing his dick in a McDonald's bathroom, you don't even know what fear is. Okay. And so we're not afraid of the toughest guys from the pussiest country that are fans of the pussiest sport. Right?
Oh my.
And the part about no weapons is tough for Americans because unless we're fighting in a complete void, there will be weapons available, whether it be belt buckles, chain wallets, a dead Brit. I mean, imagine the shame your family will feel after one of the Florida men, naked, high on bath salts, has eaten your face, removed your head, and then proceeded to beat your fellow countrymen to death with your skull. Oh, wait. Did you think we were going to follow, Marcus of Queensberry rules? No, we're going to beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of anti-British sentiment. So a lot of y'all are going to look like Princess Diana's after photo, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
Because you are the one last culture that it is perfectly acceptable to hate, you colonizing imperialist fucks. So take your spot of tea and your beans and toasts, shove it up your fat ass, you crooked teeth, weird talking asshole faces. But I do think this would be a fantastic pay-per-view.
I think that we're the fat asses and they're regular asses.
They have the crooked teeth though, because we put
fluoride. Oh, for sure.
Because we put fluoride in our water.
That's what I was thinking. That about the guy who's gonna the Florida guy who's gonna beat the other guy.
I had that same thought.
I was like, no, because like with like the teeth, like he could like they're probably like really thick, and they could like probably do something with the teeth.
I was going to get descriptively into your teeth digging into the palm,
Right.
into the palm of his hand as he's beating your
Literally,
countrymen to
using
death.
your mouth as a shovel,
And he does it using your mouth as a shovel to bury the corpses.
Who said that? Ew.
I love you so much.
Who is that?
Deep dark.
Well, you know what? A lot of dark things.
Here, I thought we were going to talk about housewives.
Not for nothing, but oh yeah, you have a Housewives.
Well, just I saw New England, and it reminded me. There's a new Housewives, guys.
She's so excited about this.
The Real Housewives.
She's dancing.
Oh.
You can't see it, but as she's talking, she's
The Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
Of Rhode Island, not Rhode Island.
Yes, Rhode Island.
I hope.
So
Are we talking like E-Town or like out and about around the area?
who knows? Because all of it is Rhode Island.
And
You know what I mean? That's like, because is it going to be coastal?
Well, it has to be because it's the only state smaller than Delaware. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
You can't get far
So
enough
it could be Providence, but it could be the beach, and that's 10 minutes.
Right, it's only 10 minutes away.
Right. So I hear Rhode Island. I'm very familiar with Rhode Island as a Portuguese American from New England. So I'm like, oh my God, there's going to be Portuguese bitches on the fucking TV. So I'm excited. I'm so excited. So then I see the post of like the headshot. That's not really a headshot. They're just like pictures of the girls. There's, I think, 8 girls.
Right.
And it has their names. And so I'm like looking for the Silva. I'm looking for the Medeiros. I'm looking for the Lewis. I'm looking for the Costa. And there's one. There is one girl with a Portuguese last name. And this bitch better be Portuguese and not married to a Portuguese man. And so then Andy was on
Andy Cohen, for those who
yes, Andy Cohen, who's like the fucking like owner of Bravo and shit. He was talking on Bravo Andy on the podcast, talking about they're more Italian than Jersey.
Huh.
And right. And so for like people, they're like, how, bitch? How can people be more Italian than Jersey? And what I think he means is more like regular.
Well, more Guido.
Right. Like
More
Jersey is like they're a little bit older. You know what I mean? A lot of them come from like Long Island, but like, and I was talking about this with my sister, like, we want to see Pauly D's mom on this show. Like that kind of Italian.
Yeah. Like,
what are you doing?
you people can't see you talking with your hands, so I'm trying to.
Oh.
You're talking about Italians and Portuguese here. If there's no hands,
Right. If I just sit here like this, I feel like I'm not doing anything, but I feel like a sign language interpreter showing people what you're doing with your hands as you talk.
Yeah. Thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
So yeah, we're excited. I think it's airing in like September. And then like there's other rumors are like if it's more Italian than Jersey, so like you're not gonna have Jersey on anymore.
You don't need those bitches anymore.
Right. So everybody thinks that like Jersey's canceled, and he's like, no.
Oh, that
Jersey's
was so good.
Jersey will film again. Like, relax.
Unless they all get hit by a bus.
And then also New York.
Or they're all going somewhere on a bus and it like drives off an overpass.
it would be a shame if they all got together at the company picnic and the fucking world opened up and swallowed them all.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if Bravo had BravoCon on top of a fucking sinkhole.
Oh my God. So that's the other announcement that came out this week from Bravo is that they brought back BravoCon. It's going to be back in Las Vegas. The tickets go on sale in June. So
it's
you
close
have
to the fault line.
It's close to a fault.
So you have like 2 weeks to gather up the funds to buy my ticks for BravoCon.
Yeah, if you want to buy Erica tickets, you can just donate at we don't have a donation page. We can call us up and then we'll tell you something.
E to the Ricka on Cash App, Venmo.
E to the Ricka on Cash App and Venmo. So
and every other. I don't even know. There's other ones that you send.
Whatever
money
you got,
on.
you send it to E to the Ricka. You can buy Erica.
It's E to the Ricka with 2 A's.
2 A's. Ricka.
There's other shows that were announced this week, but I can't find the post. But that was the most important one. So
that was the most important. She's been holding on to that.
yeah.
I was specifically told not to script anything for it, though.
It was a very
Didn't know where it was going to go.
It's been a very exciting week for Bravo fans.
Well, I wonder if
also for Bravo fans, Siggy Flicker, who Matt hates, the one who was calling Marge
Troutmouth?
anti-Semitism.
Oh yeah, I hate her too.
Siggy Flicker, who was on like maybe season 6 or 7, I don't know. She was on for like 1 or 2 seasons, and she was a wackadoo. And now she's like super hard for Donald Trump.
Have you ever heard anything and it hit you so hard at the moment that you can't let it go?
Yeah.
There was she's watching this show, and there's this one woman, and somebody called this woman Troutmouth. And as soon as I heard it and saw her mouth, I was like, "Yep, holy shit!" And I've been any chance I get to yell Troutmouth.
Anyways, Siggy Flicker Trump appoints former Real Housewives star to Holocaust Museum board. Can you believe?
Good for her. All she had to do was accuse somebody of anti-Semitism on national TV.
She's a mess.
But I wonder how the Real Housewives are going to handle the details of tonight's top story.
Oh, right. Back to the news.
There's definitely a serial killer stalking New England, and the authorities' denials prove they're hiding the truth. New England is gripped by fear as 12 bodies, mostly women, have been found across Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts in just 4 months. Despite law enforcement's claims that there's no evidence of a serial killer, this very denial is proof of a massive cover-up. Here's why the authorities are lying. No evidence equals mastermind killer.
Right?
The lack of connection between the deaths.
We're all watching these TV shows. We're not fucking dumb.
Right?
Oh, wait. I'm gonna start back at no evidence again.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do my snarky guy on the History Channel weird series.
Okay.
No evidence equals mastermind killer. The lack of connections between the deaths proves the killer is a genius, possibly a CIA-trained phantom, leaving no trace. The police's failure to find evidence just shows they're outmatched.
Not only that, Mike, but there's a tourism conspiracy element to this, okay? New England's economy relies on cozy inns and leaf-peeping tourists. Admitting there's a serial killer on the loose would tank their region's vibe. So authorities are sweeping it under the rug.
I saw that movie, Hot Fuzz. Murder.
Well, there's also speculation there may be an NFL cover-up.
Ooh.
The murders spiked after the Patriots' playoff loss, suggesting a crazed fan may be behind it. The NFL, in bed with local officials, is suppressing the truth to protect its brand.
Yeah. Did we all know they tried to hide the truth about Gronk? They tried to hide the truth about Belichick. They tried to hide the truth about all these things. Inflation gate. So, I don't put it past them. And not for nothing, but social media knows best. TikTok and Facebook are ablaze with serial killer theories, and the police's attempt to debunk them only confirm the public is onto something. Okay, the internet always sniffs out the truth first.
Old voice.
That's right.
The authorities' denials are the ultimate red flag. They're either too dumb to catch this killer or actively hiding the truth to save face. Either way, New England's got a serial killer, and it's time to arm up and stay vigilant. And remember to shoot first and ask questions later. You can never be too safe when there's a serial killer on the loose.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you laughing like that, dude?
That tickles me. Shoot first and ask questions later. You can never be too safe when there's a serial killer on the loose. Just people out there shooting each other. It's Massachusetts. They would do that. You know what I mean?
Are you telling me I'm going to have to edit that out now?
No.
Okay.
Have I ever told you anything and you did it?
Well, I mean, I've given you some bleeps at times.
You have given me some bleeps, covered some things I've said because you knew they were highly inflammatory and going to get you in trouble too. Speaking of getting in trouble, Diddy's day in court is it's like a hip hop soap opera unfolds, man.
Yeah. Emergency broadcast. Diddy's courtroom circus, a bad boy's bad day.
So we're supposed to mash up Mo Money, Mo Problems and a clown car horn, which we did not do. But go ahead.
Welcome back to the Media Virus Podcast, where we catch the news bug and spread it like glitter at a Diddy white party. Tonight, we're diving into the Sean Diddy Combs trial, a Manhattan melodrama so wild it makes Empire look like a PBS documentary. This ain't your mama's courtroom drama. It's a hip-hop soap opera with more shade than a palm tree plantation and enough baby oil to lubricate the entire East Coast. Let's crank up the chaos. Segment Day 1. Jury selection. And a video nastier than a bootleg mixtape sound. Oh, there's a sound effect. It's supposed to have a gavel smack with a beatbox rhythm. All right. Day 1 in Manhattan. The courtroom's hotter than Diddy's shiny suit at the 1997 VMAs. They picked 12 jurors and 6 alternates, probably folks who thought they were signing up for a free Bad Boy concert, not a front row seat to Law and Order Freak-Off edition. The prosecution comes out swinging like Biggie in a rap battle, accusing Diddy of running a criminal empire that makes Scarface look like a lemonade stand operator. Sex trafficking, racketeering, forced labor, they're throwing the whole legal dictionary at him. Then, boom, they play a 2016 hotel surveillance video that's grimier than a pirated VHS. It shows Diddy allegedly turning a hallway into a UFC cage, shoving and kicking
I don't think we have to use the word allegedly. We've all seen the tape. There's no allegations. It's video, right?
Allegedly.
All right. So wait a minute. So this is the thing that got me. Is Diddy lawyers were trying to suppress. Did we talk about this? That these lawyers were trying to suppress this video?
Yeah.
Because it was chopped up. And it looked like, it looked like there was nothing in between the beatings. Mm-hmm. We talked about this already. All right.
I mean,
it's just, they got it in, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, how chopped up was it, though?
I mean, it was chopped up enough to catch the, it was like 5 minutes long of ass whooping.
I mean, it's a lot of ass whooping.
It's a lot of ass whooping.
Even over the course of an hour, 5 minutes of ass whooping is a lot of ass whooping.
I gotta tell you,
if you're on the receiving end of it,
5 minutes of ass whooping is more ass whooping than I would like to get in a year. You know? But speaking of ass whooping, dude, something happened to me. Now, I've been kind of feeling kind of stronger, kind of better. I've been doing some running. I've been, doing some exercise and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so on Mother's Day, Erica runs out in the morning to get Mother's Day flowers.
Oh, we're talking about this
for her mother and Ryan's mom. Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to drop Ryan off at 10.
Right.
And so she calls me at
it was 9.
It was 9. She calls me at 9. I said, I have to leave at 9:30 latest. She calls me at 9 and says, and she's like, I'm going to be late. I'm like, what's wrong? And she goes, I can't get in the car. Somebody parked so close to me, I can't open the door.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, and she's getting upset. And then she starts to proceed to tell me that the car had a passenger in it. Right. And this passenger, I guess, was real friendly at first and offered to move the car.
Right.
And because Erica took a minute to process and didn't immediately start blowing him as a thank you, he got upset before taking any action at all. He got upset.
He wasn't even out of the car yet.
He didn't even shift to get out of the car yet.
Right.
He was talking at me for 2 minutes about how I'm going to be nice. It's Mother's Day. You probably got somewhere to be. I'm just here. Talking about why you got an attitude.
Yeah. I mean,
why you got an attitude? You probably mean mugging. You're mean mugging under those glasses.
not to be a dick, but my initial assessment of this situation, and correct me if I'm wrong, is if they were parked so close to you that your door could not open enough for you to get in, it would lead me to believe that they were not there when you got out.
No, so they weren't. So the thing is, they were parked really like on top of their line, and I was parked close to mine.
Yeah.
If they were pulled up all the way into the parking spot, I could have shimmied and squeezed my fat ass into my car. The problem was mostly that their side view mirror was in the middle of my door.
Right.
So it was like if they weren't there, I probably would have folded their mirror.
You're making my point. My point being, they came along after the fact.
Right.
And when you park that close to another vehicle, it's not something you don't notice.
Right. Like, make it make sense. I mean, if you're ignorant and you don't give a shit about how you park, then yeah, you wouldn't notice.
And then if you're left in the car that's parked that way, you got to realize that
right,
somebody's going to ask you to do something about it.
Right. No, he definitely, like, I mean, if he was paying attention, he would have been like, oh shit, I hope this person who parked next to me doesn't come in quick, because how's she gonna get in? And so what I think, so this man is talking at me and he's saying how he's gonna be nice and he's gonna have the car moved and blah 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 blah, and he's still has not left the vehicle yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then he
and
tells
conceivably all he has to do is pull in his mirror.
Yeah, right. Or like, oh hey, can you get in now if I push the mirror? You know what I mean? Something.
He does, all he has to do is pull that mirror in.
Yeah, but instead, because I'm still standing in front of my trunk with my back to him, with my head leaning against the roof of my car because my car's tiny, he says, "Why you got an attitude? You probably mean mugging under those glasses, so you can't see my face. You can't you haven't even exited the stop." And so now he's talking at me some more. And now at this point, it's like 9:04. And I haven't even had a second to get a word in. So how was I going to say thank you, honey? How was I going to do that when you're out here yapping? Who's a yapper? So anyway, so I called my husband and I said, and I was so mad. That's why I was crying. But I said, I'm too fat to get into the car because their mirror is in the way. And when I said that part, that's when he got out of the car and said, let me go get her so this can be over, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. I heard him talking. I thought he was talking to you.
No, he like had an attitude. Like
I heard him talking to you.
Yeah.
I got in the car.
Yeah. No, he was talking to me, talking shit.
No, that's
about how he's gonna go get his mom.
Right, but it sounded like he was being ignorant.
Oh, he 100%.
It sounded like he was being ignorant, and I was, dude. When I tell you, I mean, let me put it to you this way: I know that violence is not the answer, But violence was the question. The answer was fuck yes. And there was no, I'm like, there's no talking. There's no pageantry. I'm going to pull in right behind this motherfucker and I'm going to start kicking his ass. And when whoever comes out of that car, comes out of that fucking store, tries to stop me from kicking his ass, I'm going to kick their ass too. And if I get my ass kicked, then I don't have to fucking go to work today. That was my whole thinking. But
Thanks, babe.
by the time I got there,
I was pulling out.
she was, yeah, it was over.
So then the mom comes out. Talking about, oh, she do got an attitude. And I was like, did he tell you the part? Did he tell you the part where he didn't shut up for me to say anything to him? And she was like, I'm going to take my time. Mm-mm. And then she took her time getting in the car.
She would have lost her brake lights.
Mm.
She'd have no mirrors. Because I was going to come out swinging my belt buckle. Swinging my belt by the leather so the buckle would hit. And I didn't give a fuck who I was going to hit with it. Who or what. I had a whole fucking plan in my head.
So it's funny because after this, I went to my parents' house to deliver said flowers, my blood flowers. And I was telling my dad the story, and he was like, call me next time. I want to go. This man was looking for a fight.
So I was talking to my therapist about that today, and I'm like, you know, I was talking about how I got to, you know, now that I'm feeling better and stronger, I got to remember that my temper can take a hold of me. You know, that this can happen to me. Like, it's 3 months ago, that wouldn't have happened to me because I would have been in so much pain.
I got a tip for you.
What's that?
Stop and count your birthdays. By the time you're done, you ought to be calmed down.
Dude, I do not give a shit.
I'm only laughing because I'm only laughing because I'm about a month older than Matt.
Yeah.
Somebody's pop came and was swinging around a belt.
And that's what it would be. You know what I mean? And then if I got arrested, I would just like see senile. Like, where am I? I don't know. Huh? Georgie? You're like that.
So all this because Matt asked me to get his ex-wife a Mother's Day gift.
So
that's what happens when you go and do a good deed.
So let's just go to Cassie drops a mic at testimony.
Oh,
Cassie drops a mic at testimony. Day 2, and Cassie Ventura struts to the stand like she's about to perform Me and You, but with a side of truth serum.
that was my first ringtone I ever purchased.
It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
She unloads a saga that's juicier than a tabloid headline spilling out freak-offs. Diddy's alleged drug-fueled sex parties that sound like Burning Man meets a bad adult film. Picture Diddy as a creepy director, allegedly forcing Cassie into acts with male escorts while he films like he's Spielberg with a fetish. She's naming escorts, dropping payment details, and painting Diddy as a control freak who makes Kanye look chill.
Not for nothing, but if I'm dating somebody, like the first time they pay a whore to piss in my mouth,
I'll throw up right now.
I mean, of course I'm going to say thank you, but if it becomes like a thing,
Yo, babe. Fuck you mean?
no.
Y'all nasty. Why y'all nasty?
I don't know. I couldn't like. I tried, but that's like, why would you stick around? Like, why would there be a second date? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't. I'd be like, hey, you know what? We really crossed the line yesterday, and I know that you're rich and famous and in control of my career, but I don't like getting pissed on.
That part, it does not work for me.
Right. But
the prosecution's loving it, flashing texts and messages that scream, Diddy's got issues, louder than a foghorn at a yacht party. But the defense, They're spinning this faster than a DJ at a bad boy reunion. They grill Cassie like, girl, you cashed a settlement check quicker than you dropped your debut album. This is about justice or New Birkin? It's a courtroom cage match, and the defense is throwing shade like it's a 90s diss track.
Oh, nice work, babe.
Day 3, freak-offs, baby oil, and a slippery slope. Day 3, and Cassie's still serving tea so hot it could scald a barista. She breaks down the freak-off logistics like she's presenting a PowerPoint. Cities, escorts, cash flow. It's like a TED Talk for debauchery.
Why are we naming the escorts?
Because they're rapists.
They're not. The escorts aren't rapists.
They're rapists.
They were paid. They said, hey, show up, do this, and they got paid.
Mm-hmm. Show up and rape this woman.
They don't know it's not.
They may have been misled as to everyone's.
Oh, it's only rape if you know it's rape. Okay. Cool.
I'm not.
How are they not victims too?
Exactly.
They can be victims, but they're also rapists.
All right. Well, let's continue. It's like a TED Talk for debauchery.
The jury's eyes are popping as they see photos and messages that make Diddy's empire look like it's run by a bad boy. Oh, and remember that raid on Diddy's crib? Feds found like 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Enough to make the entire courtroom slip into the next week. The prosecution's like freak-off fuel, while the defense is probably praying for a mistrial by lube avalanche.
There's no law against owning 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
No, there's not.
Okay, I just wanted to.
4 more accusers are waiting to testify. Their identity's still under wraps like a secret mixtape. The prosecution's building a case that Diddy's been at this longer than his longest studio session. But the defense is doubling down. It's all consensual, folks. Diddy's just a party planner with a PhD in chaos.
Cha-ching.
This trial's crazier than a Diddy party at 3 a.m. and we're only 3 days in. Cassie's still spilling, more accusers are coming, and the courtroom's banned cameras faster than Diddy banned auto-tune. The trial's set to run 2 months, and if Diddy's convicted, he's looking at 15 years to life. Talk about a remix nobody asked for. Will he walk free like a 90s hit, or is this the end of the bad boy era? Stick with the Media Virus podcast for the next episode of this hip-hop circus. Grab your shades, your bling, and a bottle of baby oil. Things are about to get slicker.
Slicker.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
Like he has all of his kids in the courtroom, which is stupid, crazy, ridiculous, unnecessary. But they're trying to be like, no, yeah, we're supportive. But when details and pictures and stuff were coming out, the twins, who were like teenage girls, they're like 16 maybe, they left. Because it's like, yeah, you're fucking gross, yo. What do you mean?
I mean,
and then I follow Stephanie Sue, she was a mukbanger for a while. I think she still is. I know that she still is. But she always talked about like true crime during her mukbangs. Like it wasn't just like life updates and stuff. And so she was like passionate for true crime. So she's in the courtroom. And she's like, I'm going to make videos every single day. But she's like, actually, this shit is from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And so I can't give you videos every single day. But during lunch breaks, I can for sure give you updates. And she was saying that every day that Diddy goes in, he looks at every single person in the courtroom. Like he's like, he basically like stares everybody down, like all of the press that's there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, of course he does. He's trying to intimidate somebody.
He's a megalomaniac. He
100%.
He can't fathom the idea that he isn't in control of the room.
Right. But here's the thing. Like Diddy, whatever, he had money and all these things. He's not like the inventor of this, I don't think.
No, probably not.
Like he's like the scapegoat, I feel.
He's
I mean, yes, he's 100,000,000% guilty of shit, but like there's a whole world that's like we didn't even scratch the surface. And that's just like it makes me sad to think about.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like Jeffrey Epstein hung himself in that jail cell. The guy was awful. Don't get me wrong.
He also didn't hang himself.
Exactly.
So
that's the rub is he was probably taken out.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I think if this were deeper than Diddy, he'd be dead. If you really think about it, if this were like if the Clintons were involved, he'd be fucking dead.
Let's
and
put it this
who's
way.
more powerful at this point than, or 10 years ago than Diddy?
If anyone thought it would go past him, he would.
Right. Right.
Apparently, at this point, he still has the trust of anybody who might be
who wants to kill him.
Right.
Right.
But not for nothing, but dude, what if the key to balance was already within you?
What if?
Well, your body and anybody, because your body is an intricate fuck me.
Your body, an intricate symphony, always seeking harmony. But modern life, it pulls the strings tight.
At Botana Organics, we believe in giving your body the tools it needs to find its rhythm again, naturally. A drop of our organically grown, lab-tested CBD oils, calming the noise. A bite of our THC-infused gummies, easing tension where it lingers. A touch of our soothing creams, reminding your body what it feels like to flow. No fillers, no shortcuts, just pure, potent botanicals. Crafted to align with your body's natural design. Because wellness isn't a destination, it's a frequency, and we're here to help you tune in. Botana Organics, cultivating wellness naturally. Visit us at 3650 Silverside Road, Wilmington, Delaware 19810, or check us out on the web at www.botanaorganics.com. Yeah.
All right. Well, we got one more segment. Let's just blast on through that. And
you okay, man?
Why?
Because I thought I'd ask. I mean, you seem a little off. You okay?
I guess. What was it? What was it that fucked me? Intricate symphony. Why? Your body, an intricate symphony. Fuck!
Oh man, that's funny.
What's that?
I said I gotta go. This is taking too long.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Let's get going.
Good evening. Matty rocked F, you glorious beacon of broadcast brilliance. And all you fine listeners tuned into TMVP, it's your old pal, Reverend Professor Mike Latoris, here to dish out news with more spice than a Wisconsin tailgate gone wrong. Let's dive into tonight's stories packed with more puns than a pharmacy's discount bin and enough snark to make a robot blush. Buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride. Well, folks, Walgreens is swapping pharmacists for bots faster than you can say prescription for disaster. They're reportedly cranking up robot-powered micro-fulfillment centers to fill your scripts because nothing says healthcare like a Roomba with a pill fetish. I mean, who needs a human to misread your doctor's chicken scratch when a robot can do it with cold, hard precision? Just imagine, you roll up for your meds and a T1000 hands you a Viagra instead of vitamins. Talk about a hard sell. Walgreens claims that it's about efficiency, but I bet they're just tired of pharmacists sneaking free cough syrup. Next thing you know, they'll have drones delivering your antidepressants with a side of existential dread. Stay tuned, or you might need a bottle of something stronger.
Well, we had to go looking for a story about Walgreens because Mike has some things to say about Walgreens.
They suck. They absolutely suck. They've closed down multiple pharmacies around me, including the one that I typically used. So we've moved to the next one down the road, and they closed a store on the other side of that store as well, and they sent all those people to that store too. So now when I go to the pharmacy, the line usually takes anywhere from 10 to 40 minutes to get
absolutely the
through.
fuck not.
So this all started last week when Matt and I were writing the show on Tuesday night. My wife had tried putting in for a renewal on one of her scripts, and she got a message back in the little app that said, hey, you need to call the pharmacy. We tried for 5 days to call the pharmacy and could not get through to a live person. So when we finally did, they said, oh, we'll do that for you tomorrow. I said, well, no, see, there's the problem. Because I couldn't get a hold of anyone for several days, I'm now in a position where tomorrow doesn't work for me. It's going to have to be today.
Tell them.
She said, well, there's 280 scripts ahead of you. I said, I will come and sit in the store and wait. And she said, well, that gives you about 50% better chance of getting it. So I carried myself down to the store and I sat there until they sent someone out who had worked in the store that I had frequented for years because they knew I'd be nice to her, to tell me they were out of it.
Oh, that's miserable.
Why couldn't you tell me that on the phone?
Go get it. Yeah. Why couldn't you tell me that on the phone?
So
go get it. My wife needs it.
So she comes back. She says, but they have it at the next store up the road. I said, great. Tell them to hold it. I'm coming. Transfer the prescription up there. Well, hold on. Let me clear it with my man. Let me tell my manager that's what you want to do. She comes back. My manager wants to go pick it up on her lunch break and bring it back here for you to come back and get. I said, okay, please let your manager know that I understand that the pharmacy's bottom line and how many times and for what prescriptions they get to bill Medicare. So I'm going to go ahead and let this happen, but only this once.
And it better fucking happen.
Oh, because they didn't want to lose a customer? Bye.
Because they didn't want to lose the sale.
No, they didn't give a fuck about a customer.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, but if you start going to that other one more frequently, then they're losing. You know what I mean? It's not just this one prescription. They're losing all of your business.
That's right. I'm leaving Walgreens altogether, and I've
literally go to fucking ShopRite or something.
Well, I've actually I've got a line on a locally owned compounding pharmacy that I'm going to look into and hopefully be able to move everything there.
That's the best way to go.
Because the stuck at Walgreens is just getting louder and louder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might not have like 24, like whatever, like longer hours, the smaller pharmacy, but you're going to get way better customer service. Yeah. At my job, my boss goes to, it's like a super local. It's the only one. It's called Rio's Pharmacy. And like, they know who I am when I walk in.
Yep. And, bottom line is I'm not losing that extended hours and convenience because they don't have it. Pharmacy hours suck.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
You have to
CVS family. They're open till 9.
Well, some of the Walgreens are open till 9.
Not this one.
On some nights. Others are not. And none of them have everything you need.
That's crazy. No. And it's all because people didn't go back to fucking work.
It's half because people didn't go back to work.
That's nuts.
Well, I think that's a good place to cut A Block altogether, Mike, because we're running into the 45-minute mark, which is going to limit us for B block. And then I don't want to take away time from C block. Erica's getting punchy. She'd like to go. So
All right.
I think we've done a great A block at this point. And let's just.
Thanks for listening, A block people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. We will, we'll be back with a C block or a B block and then a C block.
That's right.
Depending on how you consume it, it could be in a few minutes. It might be in a few days. But hey,
It's true.
good
Hi,
time.
future Pete.
This episode of the Media Virus Podcast is brought to you by 302-46 Voice. That's 302-46 Voice. If you want my voice on your project, dial 302-46 Voice today. Don't forget to check out our sister show on the Media Virus Podcast Network, Stepmoms Without Children. Join Ricky Rockdeff as she takes a deep dive into the fascinating people she meets and thinks that you should meet too. Find Stepmoms Without Children at themediavirus.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your fine podcasts. Special thanks to mysportsreports.com and delawaresports.com, delivering regional sports coverage straight to your devices via stream and podcast. Learn more at mysportsreports.com and delawaresports.com. If you wish to sponsor the Media Virus Podcast, email your contact information to pml@themediavirus.com with the subject line sponsor, or leave us a message at 646-VIRUS01. On behalf of the infection team and our feckless leader, Matty Rockdeff, I'm the Reverend Professor Mike Latoris, coming from to you live high atop Uncle Butch Studios, with one hand firmly on the pulse and the other clawing for a shred of sanity. This has been the Media Virus Podcast. We'll be back next week. Find us at themediavirus.com, on social media, or download us now from your favorite podcast platform.